Hello, and welcome to Lunch Therapy. I'm your host, Mr. Joe Fury. Well, actually, I'm not the host. Joel Marshall is the host, but he's not as magnetic as I am.
Wow, Joe, that hurts. It's okay, I can take it. You know, we have this kind of, Joe and I have this kind of relationship where we, give each other crap sometimes, and it's kind of fun. Although, I think he's using too much Crepe Erase. I don't know how many people out there are using his product, Crepe Erase. It makes your skin less crepey. I know there's a lot of people out there in the Twitch room today, and I'm sure a lot of them have crepey skin. So Crepe Erase, the wonderful new product, sponsored by Joe Fury. Am I in Christmas land? That's a good question. That is so there's this show, Nosferatu, that we've been watching, where they take people to Christmas land. And Christmas land in that show is not fun. I don't want to ruin it for you, but the kids, they've got really spiky teeth. And you can guess what they do with those teeth. Hi, Ganell. Ganell's here for the moment. He's busy, though, of course. We're all somewhat busy. I need Crepe Erase. I do, too. I got to talk to Joe about getting some of that. Okay, so here we are. This is still the pre-show. I just wanted to, point out that I am in Disneyland today, virtually in Disneyland, because next week is going to be amusement park week. And I know a lot of you love amusement parks. My name is Ganell, and I have crepey skin. Yes, Crepe Erase Anonymous. We're here. We're all here. I have crepey skin, and I try to make my skin invisible using Crepe Erase. Welcome to all the Twitchers. We've got a ton of Twitchers in the room here. We're going to have some fun. I just want to set this up so you all know. If you haven't seen the show, this is a show where we take a little break from all the crap that's going on in the world. We commune, we breathe. We start the show by breathing, and it's called Lunch Therapy. Jay Gaffney's here. He says, does that work for creepy skin? Well, we tried it on Boney yesterday, and it seems like it was working, although, I don't know. He doesn't really have skin. He doesn't have skin, let alone creepy skin. Maybe he has creepy skin. All right, so this is the breathing portion of the afternoon. I invite you to breathe the rest of the day after this. It's free for now. For now, it's free. Okay, so general creepiness. Yeah, it works for creepiness for sure. All right, take it in through the nose, out through the toes. I'm breathing deep today, like it's into my lungs, into my legs. I'm breathing into my legs today. Let it go. Ganell is in the porta potty, actually. Maybe that's why I have crepey skin. I hear that porta potties cause crepey skin. In through the nose, out through the toes. Breathing prevents crepey skin. I'm sure of it, because it gets more oxygen into your skin. Who invented this crepey skin thing? Let it go. I've been watching too much news cycle. On the news shows, they've got all the ads for fixing your oldness, I guess is how I'm going to put it. One more time. In through the nose, out through the toes. They have that weird thing that you sit in your Barca-lounger and you pedal. You just pedal. Can't be as good as breathing. Let it go. Sometimes I like to just kind of flop around. Although my friend yesterday told me that flopping around makes her uneasy. And to me, flopping around seems like it's a good way to be, really, floppy. You know, if I was like outside your house right now staring at you from the bushes, like if you were, oh, that would be creepy. Yes. You know, I love this background that I have right now. It, for some reason, in the middle of the summer, it just makes me feel good to have a little snow outside the window. Another thing that makes me feel good is looking at cats with Domino's. And I'm not talking about Domino's pizza either. I'm talking about Domino's. Cats love Domino's, it turns out. That's what it turns out. According to this YouTube channel, Cat Navi Desk. I'll just show this for a little bit, but go there and watch the whole cycle. It's really quite extraordinary. I got the chat window up. The chat stream. Mary feels cheated. I started on YouTube and it was playing yesterday's show. What the heck? Yesterday's show is good, though. There's some good stuff that happened yesterday. I'm just gonna watch this cat because it doesn't look like he's gonna knock the domino over. It looks like it's over. Like it's totally, the domino thing is over. I'm gonna move the chat room because the action is really happening on the screen. This could take the whole show. Is he gonna do it or not? Will he do it? Yes. All right. Oh, look at that. That looks like Charlie Brown there in the box. Moving along. I like that music. It's somewhat soothing. So, yeah, this is appropriate music for this because I'm going to be playing the Popcorn Garage game on Saturday at 10 a.m. If anybody wants to join me, I'll be on Facebook and the usual places, just playing this goofy game about movie trivia, where you're in a garage, you're trying to pick out all the movie trivia items. I invite you there. I still am not sure about the gnome. There's a gnome. I don't know what movie it's from. I tried The Hangover. I tried Gran Torino. I tried a bunch of stuff. Still can't figure out the gnome. If you have any ideas, because I got to get all 66 of them or whatever. Another thing is, the other day we talked about the cookie game. It's a web browser game, and it's meaningless, but it's like you click the cookie as many times as you possibly can, and that tells you that you're cool the more that you click it. So being the entrepreneurial spirit or the overachiever that I am, I set up a computer where it just keeps clicking the cookie. And I started it about an hour ago. It's a pretty rudimentary script that I have running that is clicking the cookie, so it's not like clicking at the maximum amount of times. It just sort of tries to click as much as possible. So I'm gonna just keep an eye on it. You'll see we got past the grandma stage, past the farm stage, and the mine stage, and it's been clicked 20,000 times. Or you have OCD. Yeah, it's definitely that might be me. I'm feeling fatter. I know. I'm just wondering, I won some awards already. I won the Golden Cookie, the Clicktastic, the Making Some Dough, and the Wake and Bake. So we'll see where that goes. I'll check back in later on in the show. But today we've got to get to the topic. And the topic is, how do I change my habits? That's the title of the show. How do I change my habits? Well, I want to complete this thing that we were doing about, I'm not even on the screen, am I? That's the worst when I do that. Let me come back. Okay. So here I am. I'm back. I just leave it on the cookie game for the rest of the show. That's what Jay said. I think it's a good idea, actually. No, because we got some stuff we got to work out here because this is lunch therapy. And we've got a lot of Twitch people in the room, and we got to, teach them something. So we were looking at commercials that we saw when we were kids and how they programmed us to all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onion on sesame bun, all that stuff. They programmed us to, how we eat, how we think, what we value. How do you change your habits? Meet new nuns. There we go. There's some comedy. I love it. The teachers always have the comedy in this thing. So I started looking around because I was like, how are my parents programmed? And some of you, it's your grandparents or your great-grandparents. How were they programmed? When I came into this world, they were like pre-programmed and they started, programming. And I looked around and, back in the 50s, they were promoting sugar as like a healthy thing. There was a thing called the sugar diet. If sugar is so fattening, how come so many kids are thin? See? It's a good question. It says, next time you pass a bunch of kids, take a look. Kids eat and drink things made from sugar more than anybody. But how many fat kids do you see? You see? So they had this whole campaign about eating sugar. Get ready for the fat time of day. The sugar in a soft drink now can save me a lot of calories later. So what they were saying was it makes you less hungry. Sugar can be that willpower you need to undereat. The fat time of day, that's any time you overeat. Sugar's instant energy can slip you past. Sugar keeps your energy up and your appetite down. So that's, this is a diet tip. This is diet tips from the Sugar Information, which is probably the people selling sugar. Because why else would they buy a full-page ad of a lady eating a cookie? We know about cookies. So here's a Coke ad from the same time period.
This was me 5 years ago, and it's still me. As I confess, I'm a waistline watcher from way back. Well, that's enough for today. Now for a lively lift. Ice-cold Coca-Cola. There's no waistline worry with Coke, Actually, this individual-sized bottle has no more calories than half a grapefruit.
Half a grapefruit.
Another thing, the cold, crisp taste of Coke is so satisfying, it keeps me from eating something else that might really add those pounds. Coke's a natural.
It's a cocaine ad.
Blending
They probably did have
food
cocaine
flavors.
in it back then.
I guess that's why everyone likes the refreshing new feeling you get, only from not-too-sweet Coca-Cola. And no wonder. Lively, lifty Coca-Cola provides a welcome bit of quick energy between meals. Makes for a pleasant pause in a busy day. Oh, and remember, Coke is low in calories, too. Say, now, don't you get any thinner.
Lively lift of Coca-Cola. I do love the lively lift of Coca-Cola, I must admit. But I don't think any of that stuff is true. So this is what, we got all this misinformation. Imagine all the misinformation we're getting now. And imagine what we're passing on. Here's Fred and Barney. So we used to watch Fred and Barney. It was a kid's show, right? And we watched it on the cartoon channels. But apparently, Fred and Barney was like a knockoff of the Honeymooners, and it played during prime time. And
when you're due for a beer, Bush does
this kind of stuff happened, which
you can't say
never
beer
saw this.
better than Bush.
Boy, ain't that the truth. How can they mess with that target advertising? Yabba-dabba-doo.
Right on target, Fred.
When you're due for a beer, Bush does it. Oh, there's a lot of Bush gonna be sold.
Beginning right now. Fill her up, Fred. There it is, 5 o'clock, quitting time all over town.
Yeah, the after
I never saw that. I don't know about y'all, but I never saw that. Well, that's one of the things that we're going to talk about is the habit of saying you guys. For most of my life, I've been saying you guys, and it means women and men, To me, it means that. But apparently, it's sexist because of just saying you guys. Hey, you guys! I don't know what that was from. Maybe somebody can tell me in the chat room. Hey, you guys! So I'm trying to say y'all now. I was trying to say yins. Too difficult. But I've been changing the habit. So how do you change the habit? You meet new nuns. That's Jeff Lohman's joke. I like it. Not only did Fred and Barney advertise beer, but
The Flintstones, brought to you by Winston, America's best-selling, best-tasting filter cigarette.
Winston tastes good, like a cigarette should.
that is something that Jerry Parton sent me. I said, Jerry, hey, the 100th episode's coming up. If you want to send in a video, please do. And he sent me that. I don't think he got it. But that's what our parents were dealing with. And then we, at least my parents, some people's grandparents. When I came into the world, that's the way the world was. I do not remember any of those commercials. Pam doesn't remember them. Yeah, I don't either. I don't think they showed them to us. And here's how you dress.
Many teenagers are as concerned as their parents with the public's conception of today's youth. These students are portraying what we consider bad taste in school attire and behavior. This student is wearing an ankle bracelet, dungarees, and dropped earrings.
That's bad. Very bad.
This student is wearing an extremely tight skirt and tight sweater.
Extremely tight.
Open shirt, black jacket, dungarees are mentioned in the code as not proper school attire.
No way.
This group is our ideal of the proper school attire and social behaviors of the Hicksville Junior High students.
Wow.
When I'm slow on the draw and I need something to chaw,
This is what we got.
for a hunk of cheese. When my 10-gallon hat's a feeling 5-gallons.
This is where I got my nutrition information from this guy. And he's fit too. I mean, he's a super fit dude.
Here's a great little snack to tide you
He's
over
got those
till
pencil
dinner.
legs
You
and
want something delicious
big
and
egg-shaped
nutritious.
body.
Cheese is a super snack. Look,
I don't know if y'all
when my get up and go
keep doing it now. I'm actually doing it naturally now. I don't know if y'all saw this one, but
when I'm dancing, I hold down and my boots kind of slow down.
a hanker for a hunk of cheese.
A hanker for a hunk of
A silver slice of sunka.
A snacker is a winner, and yet won't spoil my dinner. A hanker for a hunk of cheese. Yahoo!
That's it. That's the programming that I got. So I hanker for a hunk of cheese daily. Every hour or so I got a hankering for a hunk of cheese. But I do want to check back on the cookies. So let's see how it's going. Oh, let's see if I can switch that around. Well, there we go. Yeah, there. Look at me. I'm right in the middle there. So far we've got 22,725 cookies. I'm just going to let it roll. It's looking good, though. What is Hicksville, Jeff Lohman? Am I missing that one? I'm missing that one. So, I just want to talk about habits for a second. Because the title of the show is, you think you guys is from the Goonies? Hey, you guys? I think the one that I was referring to was from the Electric Company. I don't know if you ever saw that, Cade. But if you haven't, you got to see it. I think in the beginning they go, hey, you guys. Pretty sure that's where that comes from. Oh, Hicksville is where they dress well. Okay. Sometimes I'm confused. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Fact checking. Rita Moreno's famous "Hey You Guys" catchphrase kicks off the spiffy new opening from the 1972-73 season, this time featuring the short circus of clips and various other... Oh, Zoom? No. Really? Oh, the electric company. Okay. I thought you were saying Zoom. Right, the electric company. You know, Morgan Freeman was in the electric company, right? Played the easy reader. Just goes to show you. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen because the world is completely unexpected. You think it's expected. You know, I saw a thing the other day. You'd think, here's something that you would think. You would think riding a bike is a habit, but it's kind of easy. It's kind of an easy thing. You forget learning it was so hard. Well, they gave this guy a bike where if you turn right, it goes left. And if you turn left, it goes right. And then they were like, see if you can ride this thing. And it seems like it's easy. You just adjust your habit. Whenever you go right, you go left. Impossible to ride. It's impossible. The guy gets on the thing and he's like, it's like he's never ridden a bike before in his life, and it's like he never will. He never will. So you can't really tell, you know, how many habits you have. Habits to me, I'm going to define habits. Maybe somebody else can fact check it, but I think a habit is sort of like a pre-programmed, it's like a little program that you run. So you don't have to think about it. You habitually say, "You guys," and then you can be thinking about maybe what you're talking about and say, so then you have to reprogram that. So when you hit that button, it goes, y'all, or yins. I was talking to my friend Harlan Gleeson about this because in comedy, you know, a lot of times these days people are saying comedians, it's really hard to be a comedian these days because everybody's so PC. Everybody's so politically correct that you know, if you say anything, you get cancel culture. You get cancel cultured. And so you can't say anything. That's what, so they're saying so difficult. I had talked to Harlan Gleeson. He's a comedian in town about this, and I have a little bit of, let me see if I can get him here. Here it is. A while back when I went up to Seattle, I'd be like, people would be like, oh, these gals, this and that gal, that. Yeah, kind of like gal seems kind of pejorative, but it actually is the female version of guy. So it's the right thing to say. So I guess gentlewoman, I don't know. Maybe women aren't gentle.
Well, yeah. I mean,
maybe that's
not to get too technical, but gentle lady, maybe.
Gentle lady.
Yeah, it's almost like it's you're saying something twice in a way, because I like to think that women are always gentle.
Now you're in trouble. I mean? Now you're in trouble because you're now classifying women as gentle.
I'm not supposed to say these things. I agree. I'll stop right there, but I will say that I like to think of all of my
lady friends.
Yes.
Yes.
As loving people, and you know.
I mean, you know, mother.
I can't.
Mother Earth. You know, we think of it as nurturing and not warlike, and you know, these are stereotypes, I guess, that we have, but they're kind of good ones.
Draw some distinction.
I would say they're compliments. Okay. Do you think that there's a lot of talk these days about comedy and how it's difficult to be a comedian because you get into conversations such as the one that we're having right now, which is just sort of weirdly awkward, and us trying to navigate some guidelines or some kind of, you know, there are some people that would say, well, just even making a distinction between man and woman, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? So do you think comedy's harder because of that?
Well, I think it just brings to full light like the things that we definitely need to talk about. I think that's actually where you go directly at it. I mean, that's what comedy's all about.
That's where you go directly at it. I think you're right. I think you're right about that.
Fears. You talk about what's kind of uncomfortable to talk about. You kind of bring it all out, and
I feel like comedy needs boundaries, because if there are no boundaries, there was a while there. I guess it was probably, I don't know, late '80s, early '90s, where the comedy just got so ridiculously vulgar and so ridiculously racist that you're just like, there were no boundaries and people could say whatever the heck they wanted to, and it just wasn't funny anymore. It wasn't funny, and there was no sense of danger. There was just a sense of repulsion that I got.
Yeah,
from it. Well, I'm not saying all comedy, of course.
It's all about shock value. Like there's not a real purpose behind making people laugh almost anymore. It's just like, let's see if I can shock people. That's my main mission, is to shock people, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like, I feel like part of the point of comedy is to neutralize people's fears and the uncomfortable things that we all kind of have to deal with within society. It's about kind of bringing them out into daylight and making light of them so that we can all feel comfortable talking about them.
Yeah, I almost think like comedy is saying the unspoken things that everybody knows. And it doesn't, I think the question is it mean-spirited or is it not? Yes. And so if it's not mean-spirited,
then it's okay.
One time I saw a comedian, I don't know who this was, maybe somebody can tell me, but the comedian said, comedy is about mutual understanding, and it's about mutually understanding something that we didn't realize we mutually understood. Like when you go in the bathtub and the bathtub is too hot and you're sitting in it and it's way too hot, and so you turn on the cold water and you go like this with the water to make the water, mix it.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, that's a private moment that we have all had, but we've never, we don't generally have that.
Right. Right.
I don't know. I think it's, I'm not sure who that comedian is who said that thing about the bathtub and the water, but I'd like to find out who that was, because I think that was pretty smart. Because I think a lot of times it's just about connecting with one another. And I have a Ouija board behind me. We were talking about the Ouija board yesterday and whether it's an actual communication with the netherworlds, the underworld. And we were talking about, who invented it, were there patents. So it was invented in the 1890s as a game in the United States. After the Civil War, there was so much death that happened in the Civil War. There was sort of an upswing in spiritualism in the United States. And the Ouija board was something that came out of that. And it was designed, well, there's a lot of debate about it, who exactly designed it, but these are the patents. And this guy's name's William Fuld. And so the question is, does it still do magical, spiritual things? And are you still talking to the spirits when you use the Ouija board? Or is it just whoever is moving the thing, whoever's will is moving the thing, I think. Even if they don't think they're moving it, they're willing it to spell out certain letters. Some people say that the Ouija board was named by the Ouija board. When they made it, they asked it, "What's your name?" And it said Ouija. Maybe that's why there's some question as to how it's pronounced. But there is a video. I found this. National Geographic did a thing where they had these people sit around a table and they were doing the Ouija board, and it was all working just fine. They would ask it questions and it would spell things out. And they said, well, they were talking to a spirit. They were talking to the spirit of a woman's dead father. And they asked him, are you happy? He said, yes, I'm happy. And then she got all emotional. And then they said, well, okay, let's see if this thing really works. And they got out blindfolds. They put them on the people. And they did the same thing, and they asked questions of the spirit. And the thing just ran aground. Just spelled, I mean, they just went to spaces where there were no letters. And they were like, well, the spirit was doing really well before. I don't know what happened. So that was they're saying, well, that's proof that a Ouija board is just not real. I don't know if it is proof, though. Maybe the spirit needs to see through your eyes. Did they think of that? Maybe the spirit is somehow flowing through you, not just through your fingers, through your eyes, has to see the board. We're going to have to ask somebody about that, Matt Wright or somebody. All right, so it's time for the dance break. Next, we do have Amusement Park Week coming up next week. This is well, we better check back on the cookie. I just want to see here what's going on with the cookie. There it is. Now I found a better way to look at it. We got 25,500 cookies, let's say. See how far we can get with that. Is it cheating? I don't know. Tomorrow we're going to talk about something that's very important, and it's about creativity and what creativity is and how you can nurture creativity. All right, moving along. Time for the dance break. I think you're going to like it.
1, 2, 3.
Yo, this ain't no disco. Sure as hell ain't no country club. This is LA. Yeah. All I wanna do is have some fun before I die. Said a man next to me out of nowhere. Apropos to nothing, he said. His name was William, but I'm sure it's like Billy or Bill or Mac or Buddy or something like that. Yeah.
So again, these guys, these
and I wonder if he's ever had a day of fun in his whole life.
These people,
we're drinking bar,
they take songs, turn them into
on noon at a Tuesday.
That's what they do.
The bar faces a giant car wash. The good people of the world are washing their cars on their lunch breaks, hosing and scrubbing the best they can in shorts and skirts. They driving the shiny Datsun and Buicks and back to the phone companies and the record stores too. But that ain't nothing like Billy B.
Lunch therapy.
'Cause all I wanna do